Yeah. We moving up.
Previously on Moving the Chains with Chief.
Our nail biters. Could you believe, again, by 1 point, Dirty Mike and the boys won his game with the same score line, the same score. Crazy luck. That is crazy rare. I don't even know if that's ever happened in league history. Like, what the?
You know, it's questions like this that get me super excited about this year's season in particular, because these questions have always existed, but now we have the answers. So I'd like to debut a new segment called History in the Making. You've heard it a million times already. Legacy is everything in this league, and we want to see how that legacy is being formed right now, looking at some of the historical updates and milestones that we are hitting this season. Now, in this segment, we're going to be talking about and tracking all of the live updates that we have to our league by our league legacy platform. And not only does it track all of those stats and records automatically, but it also allows us to put in custom achievements or blunders if people do things they should or shouldn't do. Now, the first of those custom achievements has actually been in there for quite some time, and if you've done some digging, you may have seen it. One of the biggest fouls in our league is missing the draft. Not just the draft party, the draft itself. Auto-drafting is a cardinal sin, one that should be forever remembered against your legacy. And unfortunately this year, we did in fact have one auto-drafter. Sino, the team fully automatic. The name kind of sums it up for himself. Sino, you missed the draft. Definitely a big no-no. Something we will not forget, and something that will remain on your legacy forever, thanks to the newly added auto-drafter badge. Now, Sino is not the only member of the league that has that auto-drafter badge, but I'll let you guys do a little bit digging. But the custom achievements don't always have to be bad. We definitely want to focus on some of the good stuff. And in order to switch gears, we're going to go ahead and take a look at that really cool matchup that we had this past week, where Alex had won his second back-to-back narrow 1-point victories. Now, 1-point victories are pretty unique in our league, but they don't always happen. Actually, this is the first time that someone's had 2 narrow victories in just the same season, and it's the first time that anyone's ever done it back-to-back. The only other time it's happened twice in the same season was back in 2015 with team owner Vicky B, and she did it in weeks 3 and week 8. But again, Alex did it in back-to-back weeks. Not only is that special, but it was the first time that it's ever happened with the same score happening in back-to-back weeks for team owners. So you put those two things together, it's a very unique situation. And I'm sure Alex was on the edge of his seat with his butthole tightly puckered.
Hey,
so,
yo!
We're going to debut another achievement going to Alex's profile called Double Pucker. You'll earn this achievement if you go back-to-back weeks with 1-point victories. So that's just the first of many custom achievements to come, but one of those things we definitely want to keep track of. Now, with 2 narrow victories, that put Alex tied in second place with a bunch of other teams that have had narrow victories, but who ends up having the most? Well, that achievement belongs to both Freddie, Chief himself, and our reigning champion Larry, who have done it 3 times total, and they are sitting at the very top when it comes to narrow victories. Even more incredibly, going into last week, no one actually realized that we had a huge milestone race happening between 2 of our oldest team owners, reigning champion Larry and Duff. And this race was the first to 30,000 points. Yes, both teams were inching and closing in on that 30,000 point mark, and last week definitely could have sealed the deal for one of them. So let's see how that actually shook out. Now, Larry going into last week had 29,936 points, and Duff had 29,792. However, after it all shook out last week, Larry was the first to cross that finish line, finishing now with a total of 30,084, sitting atop the league with the most amount of points, and now has the milestone for the first team to get to 30,000 points. Duff is going to look to capture this one this week, as he is now just 27 points shy of that 30,000 point mark. A milestone that we're definitely going to keep track of. And you can keep track of all of these milestones by visiting our League Legacy page and checking out all the achievements and records so you can see what milestones you're getting close to next. Now, I know a few of you guys are wondering, hey, talk about the main league, we talk about all the legacy. What about the B League, right? League Legacy has not been active for TLB. until now. I'm also super excited to finally be debuting the TLB League Legacy page as well. Now, of course, this is a very fresh league, so a lot of those records and achievements wouldn't have really meant anything for the first 3 weeks, but now that we've got a few weeks under our belt, we want you guys to start tracking your roster moves, your points, your passing yards, your stats. Any record that you want to keep track of in TLB is now forever going to be stored in League Legacy as well. So that link will be found down below and in our Discord channel. So check that out whenever you can and get excited as your legacy grows with us. This has been History in the Making. Now let's go make some history in week 5.